Welcome back to the channel, Gaming for XP, and we finally finished the courtroom build. This is the last episode. Let's get building. So, welcome back to the last episode of the courtroom build. We really kick it into high gear in this episode and get a whole lot of stuff done. And we'll do the final walkthrough today. So, sit back, enjoy. I've sped it up as you can see by that noise, because this is just rinse and repeat stuff. So pretty much standard stuff, and usually I do all building, but I thought I'd do a little bit of decoration just to switch it up a little bit today, and please enjoy. So we haven't done a wee bit of music for a while, so why don't we have a wee bit of decoration rock music. Enjoy, guys, and I'll be back in a minute. So there you go, hope you enjoyed that. Okay, so I'm going to work on this back area. So this is like the viewing platform at the back here, and I'm using some things from G2M Workshop, those little ladders, and we'll have an extended platform just so that the public can come in and, I don't know, throw tomatoes at people and stuff like that. So if you saw the last video that I did, I made this platform by extending these pieces of wood all the way around, and now I'm just trying to work out what's the best configuration for this viewing platform here. So I've extended out one kind of half floor there, and I might just put that single floor in there. It's not quite wide enough. I really need to move that stair probably across there, or just leave that single one out. And this is where I run into some issues with this wall to my left now. So it'll snap in there, but this wall here to the left is causing me some issues with snapping for some unknown reason. So I have to spend a bit of time pulling that wall out and reconfiguring it to get this to work. So there you go. So I've cut out all that because it did take quite a while, and you can see that wall now, if you look closely, is a little bit recessed back to get that floor to snap into it. So I'll put some supports there. It took me a while just to figure out how to do this, what the best way to do this was with these in the look I was going for the viewing platform. We'll get there in the end, but it's one of those things that on the face of it doesn't look that complicated, but boy did it fight me. But anyway, you know, persistence again, we'll get there. So I'll put the railings in. Again, that's from Vanilla Extensions of the barn tab there, or the barn menu if you like to call it. And that's pretty much it. We'll put some seats in there and that's pretty much done, but just an effective way of doing this. I don't know that those posts really need to be there, and I think in the end I end up getting rid of them, but it's just, as I said, a lot of this footage is raw footage. I haven't really edited it or had any practices or anything like that. I've just started building and tried all these ideas on the way through. So you're seeing how that works and how that creativity works, and what I try and what works, what doesn't. You try one thing and then it always seems to lead to a better way of doing things, and that's purely experimental. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I now need to have an area for the witnesses. So like not the witnesses, sorry, the jury. a jewelry box. So not a jewelry box, don't be mistaken, a jewelry box. So so I'm using the same technique to snap things on, and then I can get rid of that and put the stairs back, and then it gives you a floating platform. Now I do actually end up finding a great solution to block up that floating platform to make it look as though it's all enclosed, but it does take me a while and a few options of doing that. Now I was looking at that floor. I'm going to do something with that area in the floor in a little while. Again, I've changed these up into single pieces only because, or quarter pieces, only because I wanted them all to look the same. And you can see I'm using this rail that you get with Workshop Rearranged as a potential thing to block up the bottom of that platform, so it doesn't look as though it's just floating in mid-air. And I use these to start with, and then I actually end up finding a much better solution. But again, up to you. You can use that if that's all you've got. And you can see with the one in front of us now with the jewelry platform, I've actually managed to pull that down below. But these shack wall filler boards, which you get with Workshop Rearranged, and I think you now get them with the USO, are much more user friendly for this particular exercise. And you can see snap one on top and then snap one down below if you're having problems with snapping, just like that. And then you can take the top ones away. So I think I decided to have a look at the longer ones because it kind of makes sense. I'll probably have to snap a longer one on top first to get that to snap. So I do make a little bit of a faux pas here, because that would have been the solution, is just to put a bigger one up top, which is the same as we've just done there, so that they snap nicely. And you can see that's now boxed that in, and it doesn't look as though it's floating. So this has been quite a long build for me, and I've cut out a lot of the footage that I actually recorded. It's like 4 or 5 hours of footage, and I've cut it down to 3 episodes, so it's not a bad effort on my part. So there you go. There is a bit of a gap there, but we'll fix that a little bit later. And we have the bones of the courthouse really starting to come together now. So you can tell I'm thinking, can't you? So I've cut out all the faffing. There was some major faffing going on. I've cut it out, and I've made a big hole in the floor. And you're going, okay, what are you doing? You'll see. It all makes sense in a second. I'm going to run back here. The hardest thing was to try and figure out where the hole in the floor was. So it's right there. So we'll need to take that jail. We'll move that across there. I know that we needed to do that, but we will do that. There, just for now. And we'll move that one across. We could have just taken the other one out. I don't know what I was thinking there, but anyway. And ooh, what's that? We need to get rid of that in a sec. What's that there? Okay. So now we've got floors underneath on the ceiling. That's a bit weird, but anyway. Yeah, this game sometimes. See, I should have just deleted that, but anyway. What my idea here is I want to have, get rid of that. What the heck is that doing up there? You know, I went back to the castle the other day. If you've seen that tour, thank you for supporting that. That just, the amount of views on that was just insane. So thanks everyone for supporting that. But I went back to the castle the other day, and there was a few things just suddenly had either moved themselves or they were missing. And I hadn't been back there in a while, so sometimes the game is weird like that. So here we go. What I'm going to do is, and the whole idea here is that people were down in holding cells, down the bottom here, and I felt like there was probably, we needed to put something in here so that they could be moved from this secure area straight to the courtyard. So this is a little stairway that allows them to go up to the courtyard, and then I'll build a little dock in there for the accused to stand in and listen to proceedings. So it takes me a while. This is due to mod with these wonderful staircases, and it takes a while to get this in, but it will fit. It will fit, I promise you. Again, as you know, I'm very persistent in this. Finding the right the right staircase took a while, but I eventually find it, and I think I end up putting some kind of floor piece up the top to get it to snap here. But they are a little bit fiddly, and it's more because I'm just getting used to using GTM. I think this was very early on, and when I started using GTM mod, at least with the stairs here. So just trying to snap this piece on so that the stairway has something to grab onto. So the other thing I needed to do in this build was that I had to go back and decorate the courtroom, because I had built this quite a while ago, and I had so much content going on the channel that I haven't gone back and decorated. So you'll see in the final tour, actually, you'll see all the fruits of my labour, so to speak. So yeah, this is taking way too long. So I think I'm going to persuade it into place here. I think it actually ends up snapping from memory. So we'll just put it roughly into place, and then we'll try and position it. Sometimes you can do that. Sometimes it's a good idea to do this, is to do, if you've got place anywhere, that doesn't work. And unfortunately the height of this is what was the problem. So there is a height issue with this staircase. You go, see it suddenly just snapped. So you actually have to jump up the last stair, but you know what? I'm fine with that. So you can see I have to kind of go up. There we go, and we're in. So that's okay. It's just another kind of cool little addition, and it just another detail that just sells the whole build, I think, for me. So we'll get this roof in, just like that. Nice. And we'll make the little witness box, I guess, and witness box, or the accused box, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Now, this is a pretty simple little structure, but boy oh boy did it take me a heap of time to get right. It just, sometimes in this game you think the simplest things are just things that can take you an hour or whatever. So I've cut a lot of this down, but I can show you the general thinking that I had to build this. So when I built it, I think the first time, it was floating off the floor, so hence why I've put that little piece of flooring down, just to elevate it slightly. And these, once you get these in, they'll snap to each other, which is fantastic. I think one of the issues that I had here is the fact that it was hanging over, and you'll see what I mean. See, so that piece is floating off the floor, and this is what takes me the time to try and reconfigure it. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit in a sec, because it's you know, it was painful for me to do, and it's probably painful to watch as well. And again, you know, it's raw. Keep in mind, it is raw footage, and as builders, we all come across this. So I'll leave a lot of this stuff in only because, number one, I want to show that, you know, things don't always go the way you want them to, and number two, you know, it's just be persistent. Encourage you to be persistent, because you'll get there. And you see, there we go, we got the witness stroke accused box, prisoner box, whatever you want to call it, and it's really shaping up now. The courtroom, it has a nice feel about it. So I'm going to get a little bit more decoration done, and then we'll cut to the final tour. So just going to add some tables and whatnot in here to make it look all official, and then we will get the final tour done. And I think I'll give you a little bit more music just while I'm decorating. there you go, that's the final build done. Here's the tour, and you can see it looks starkly different to where we started. But I really enjoyed this. It was very challenging, I'm not going to lie. So let's just soak in what it all looks like finished off. And I wanted to have a really kind of grand look about it, so I've put this glass ceiling in up the top, and windows all around the kind of upper level there in the atrium cum reception area, whatever you want to call it. And you can see I think it just works perfectly for the look I was going for. You see the walls, I've put a kind of marbly wallpaper on the walls, and just added a whole lot of things. And you see the floors I ended up changing. It's probably the third iteration, but you know, lots of little details in here just to sell it. So there's a waiting area here. There's a water cooler if you need to have a drink, and we talked about symmetry in one of the earlier videos, and I try and go for a bit of symmetry. So there's another waiting area here. You have some tea or something. These spaces underneath the stairs here I've made into restrooms. So that's the ladies' restroom here, and obviously the opposite side is going to be the gentleman's privy or restroom. Of course they have different needs. So somebody's tried to pull that urinal off the wall by the looks of it, never mind. So lots of little details, as you can see, soap and everything, washing hands, all kinds of little details that just help to sell it. And I'm pretty proud of this entranceway. I think it looks just fantastic. Go upstairs and go into the courtroom now. And it just shows you, if you have an idea, keep with it, keep working away with it. And I think the courtroom has come out really nice. I really like this overall look. Now, one of the things that I did twig, and I'll show you in a minute, so that's for the accused. I realised I probably needed a witness box, so I've put one in there. You see it in a sec. Give it a quick look around. There you go. And the jury platform there. Let's have a look at the judge's room. Pretty much what you would expect. Nice little office. Just close the door. And yeah, there you go. I've got a witness box there now. Something that I realised a little bit later, that we needed a separate witness box. So this is very secure. If you're coming from downstairs, you have to jump up over that. So let's go downstairs and have a look downstairs. Just show you what's going on down here. And done a bit of decoration down here. The guards area, office to do his administration and whatnot. And the holding cells. Number of holding cells are very simple. Of course, there's a cigarette machine and a Coca-Cola machine down here just in case it's needed. Put a lot of these kind of scrappy things on the wall too, just to make it look a lot different. And that's it, guys. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed this build. It was a lot of fun building it. It's something completely different to what I've normally done. A bit cleaner to what I normally do. So thanks for supporting the channel as ever, guys. If you like this, leave a like. Leave some comments. If you haven't subbed, go ahead and sub. And we will catch you in the next build. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya.